Hey guys, your girl Karina here again, and thank you again for tuning into my videos. And I'm really trying to make a big effort in terms of making this time useful that God has given us to really put Him first and in the center of our lives. And before I go any further, I want to let you guys know that for those who are new to my videos, it's me, Karina, and I love to sing, play the violin, and love for God's glory. And I'm hoping that these videos will be helpful and useful for all of us and to become closer to Christ. So I hope you guys tune in tomorrow as well. And please subscribe, and it would mean a lot to me. So today I want to talk about the graces of God, and I'm not going to lie. Honestly, like when you really put the God in the center of your lives, He really makes you thrive in everything that you love doing. And essentially, in this secular world, it tends to be a challenge because with the expectation that everyone has around us, and really it gives us that degree of discouragement at times because people are just like, oh no, you're not good at this, or no, you need to, like, you're not good at that. It's just like, no, like when you have God in the center of your plans and your relationships and your family and your friends, and there's nothing to be afraid of. Like, you know, when God's in your heart and by your side and giving you the strength, the courage to do anything, you have nothing to be afraid of. I personally now apply in my life to always have God in the center of everything that I do. If it's, you know, if it's someone that I like, or if it's like, you know, my job, my work, and anything, I always surrender it to God's hands first. And we have to really exercise that a lot more in our lives because, you know, when God has, you know, the power and the strength over us, He's able to know and, you know, lead us the way into something that we never thought would happen for ourselves. And essentially, that's why, like, you know, embracing the graces of God, whether if it's in our favor or not in our favor, is very important because, you know, you never know what will be coming, really. And, you know, embracing those times will enable us to grow in ourselves and in our faith. And so when you put God first in everything and above all things in your life, you will really see the difference about how God will really lead you into a better pathway. And, you know, putting the world aside and putting God first is really the ultimate thing that each and every one of us have to strive to continue on doing. And, you know, we tend to get distracted by the tasks that we have to do, or, you know, the things that people are asking us to do. But essentially, you know, take that opportunity and take that moment to put God first and be like, okay, this is the things that I love in my life, and these are the things that I potentially want to do in my life that I would love to do one day. And essentially, simply just, you know, let God, place it all in God's hands and be like, okay, you know, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I ultimately trust in what you have planned. And ultimately, you know, we have to be patient though, because a lot of the times we're just like, go, 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 go. We need answers now. Just like, you know, typing anything on Google and we get like an instant answer. No, with God, it's like He really gives like time to really unfold what He really wants for you. And well, really, I'm not gonna lie, that's one of my biggest struggles that I have to undergo constantly because, again, I am the go, go, go type, and I like to know everything now and now. And so that's why, like, over the past experiences I've gone in my life, I ultimately learned that lesson that, you know, when God really unveils what He wants you to know and the plan that He wants you to experience, at a certain timing. It's so perfectly aligned that even I am just like, okay, now I get it. So that's why, like, there are times when I still struggle with that, thinking like, okay, like, I don't know what's gonna happen next. I want to know it now. But literally, when I tell myself, okay, God has a better timing than I know for myself, and so that's why, like, if I can do it, you guys can too. Again, I do highly tell you that it's not easy for those who are very, like, on the go and full of adrenaline, but honestly, like, God has a better timing, and it's ultimately up to us to actually place our trust in Him and His timing and His plans. So really, it's not easy, but for sure, when God shows us the plan that, you know, that He has planned for us, it really is worth it in the end. And so that's why it's true. So that's why, for you guys, I highly recommend that, you know, take a moment, turn off the TV, and stop letting the media overwhelm all of us about what's happening with the virus and everything. I mean, yes, it is, you know, good to actually know what's happening at some degree, but to not let it control our feelings and our emotions. But like, okay, yeah, this number, you know, a lot of people are dying. I'm like, yes, it's sad, it's not good, I understand, I get it, but, you know, God knows what's happening. God can see what's happening. God has a plan for all of us in the end, and it may seem like the world is ending, but it's not. And we should ultimately take this time and effort to, you know, to really focus ourselves into God's presence and to be able to utilize these times to silence ourselves with Him and allow ourselves to grow with Him. And so that's why, going back to the grace of God, like, we have to look at this as a grace from God, because He's actually taking this time for us to slow down, to not let the world make us so busy and forget about Him because we have to do A, B, and Z, but for us to actually, you know, really focus and slow down and take a breather, and to really focus with our families, focus on Him, and to really grow with our faith in Him. And I know it may seem hard for those that are panicking about what's happening in the world, I understand, but, like, you know, during this time, like, we should really put Him in the center of our lives right now. Like, when we wake up, we should focus on Him and not, you know, on social media. It's just like, you know, open the scripture, put Him first, and literally, like, you will see the difference over time, and you will see that, you know, through the scripture, through God's words touching your heart, like, it will really make a difference in terms of you actually seeing the world in a different perspective and the world in a different way. Like, when you meet someone new, or when you're trying to reach out to someone that you haven't spoken to in a long time, like, all of that really is, you know, God's work within you. And for example, for me, like, for those that I haven't spoken to in a long time, I really want to take the effort to reach out to them and be like, hey, how you doing? You want to meet up for dinner? Catch up? You know, I really wasn't that type before, because I was really shy and I didn't really know, you know, how they would think of me. But now it's like, no, I'm not afraid. I'm just gonna put myself out there. I don't care, because I know I have God with me, and no matter what happens next, it's all according to His plan. And so that's why I highly recommend for you guys to actually implement that in your lives too. For those that you haven't reached out to certain people in your life, like, there's no harm in just maybe calling them or sending a text being like, hey, how's everything? You know, I hope everything's well with you, with your family and everything, and, you know, and wanting to catch up over dinner or lunch or something. Like, honestly, it doesn't take much effort to just reach out to people that you haven't spoken to in a long time. And really, it's, you know, when God is really working within you, you see changes within yourself that you don't realize that's actually constantly happening, little by little. And the way I look at it in my own life, like, from personal experience, it's just like, you know, I'm not afraid to just, again, put myself out there and just reach out to those that I've lost touch with, and for those that I haven't spoken to in a long time, I honestly now, like, I really just want to be out there and meet new people, and, you know, regardless of where they're coming from in their life, like, the way God's worked within me is just like, you know, regardless of who I put in front of you, honestly make the best out of it. And so that's why for me, like, when I meet like random people in the elevator, sometimes my work, you know, it doesn't take much effort to be just be like, hi, good morning, something like that, or it could be anything really. And honestly, like, that's why I tell you guys, like, just for those people out there that you haven't actually, you know, kept in touch with in a long time, just honestly just say hi, or how you doing, or how's everything. Especially nowadays with the whole virus, like, even more so, you guys should actually, like, reach out to those people that you haven't kept in touch with in a while and just ask how they're doing, you know. And you never know where it might lead. So honestly, like, you know, we should not waste this opportunity of this quarantine to just bum around and be like watching Netflix, Crave TV, and YouTube and everything. But we should really take this opportunity to reach out to people that we have lost touch with. And, you know, there's no harm really, as long as you have God in the middle of it, in your heart. Nothing bad's gonna happen really. I mean, the worst that can happen is for them to actually not respond to you, and for them to ghost you, really. So as long as you have the right intentions, God knows what's happening, you know. Maybe the person doesn't want to talk to you anymore, who knows, right? So really, just don't expect, like, God handle the rest, and always try your best, really. So before I go on and on, I hope I really made an emphasis about really embracing the graces from God. Like, God places certain people in your life for a purpose, and for a special time in your life for a purpose. So that's why, you know, don't waste it. I mean, maybe the person is there to guide you, to bring you closer to your faith, or to, it could be anything really, or to just be there for you, to hear you out and what's happening in your life. And really, I feel bad when, like, I try to reach out to some people, and, you know, and I'm willing to catch up with them over dinner or over lunch or anything, and they don't want to they don't want to talk to me. So it's just like, you know, I try my best really, and I don't expect, because, you know, I surrender into God's hands and just being like, I hope they're okay. It's too bad that they didn't want to like respond to my message about, you know, having dinner or something like that. And, you know, it at some degree does hurt, but at the same time, it's just like, you tried your best, and now it's up to God to handle the rest. And that's why I keep on reminding myself every day, as I keep on telling you guys, always do your best and let God handle the rest. And honestly, at times, like, you only can do what you can, really. And honestly, like, God knows what's happening, and God knows the intentions you had in your heart, and, you know, and He knows that you did what you can. And really, like, you never know what may happen. You don't know what the person's experiencing in their life, really. So that's why, like, for me, I just do what I can in my life, and I let God handle the rest. And I apply that also in my work, also my music ministry, and my Generation Faith band. And I just had a meeting with them online, and honestly, it's a great experience, because, you know, all of us were feeling a bit discouraged because, like, of what's happening. We can't rehearse together, we can't do praise and worship at a church. And, you know, yes, it is a tough time, but, like, I felt really, you know, encouraged to tell them, you know, like, to tell them all that, you know, it may be a tough time, but, you know, we should really embrace this time to really re-energize ourselves to become closer to Christ. And so when this time's over, we will be on fire and more than ready to worship God, you know, and to glorify God's name through music. So that's why, like, for you guys out there, I highly recommend that you take this time to put God first in your life and to actually focus on Him, taking a breather from the busy world, and to focus on Him during this time. So But before I keep on going on and on, I wanted to save it for the next video tomorrow so that you guys will tune in again. And I want to say again, thank you for listening to this video all the way to the end. I know my videos are about 15-20 minutes long, but you know, I hope you guys will at least make the time so I'll be able to encourage you guys to keep on being disciples of Christ and ambassadors of Christ. And again, this is an unfortunate time that all of us are quarantined to be at home, but on that note, I highly tell you guys to please stay at home. Please stay at home and practice social distancing as much as possible. I personally haven't left the house for 7 days now. Yeah, so I'm getting used to the whole staying home in a box, but I'm managing well. Like, you know, my lifestyle's changed a bit, like working from home and stuff. So really, I've taken this time to practice violin more, to spend more time with myself more in terms of how I can improve in my music ministry and also with my faith and everything. So really, it's been tough in the beginning, but now that's about 7 days, like I'm actually embracing this time to focus on myself and to really re-energize myself in everything that I do. So that's why it led to beginning this vlog series, and ultimately it feels better at the end of the day because at least I am trying to utilize this time to reach out to those that are lost and are hoping to be found, to be closer to Christ. And I'm trying my best. I know that again my videos are a little long, but for those that are tuning in, I really appreciate it. And I hope you all will actually find the gift that God has placed in your heart to really use to maximize your life and, you know, glorifying God's name. And as me and my Generation Faith Band have as a motto, it's like less of me and more of you. So essentially, if I can do it, so can you. So don't forget, always do your best and always let God handle the rest. And I know it has that little rhyming scheme to it, but it's short and sweet, so honestly it works. I constantly keep on reminding myself that every day, and I hope you guys will actually take that to heart. So before I go on and on, please tune in tomorrow, and I will see you in the next video.